This is the Ms.FitVegan podcast, episode 336. So I got a great question from a person who shall remain nameless because I don't want to give her any more credit than she already gets. And also I don't want her to get any more followers than me because she climbing the ladder now. All right, here we go. Yes. So the question was, do you ever have doubts? I do, but I'm still early in my journey. Yeah, this is a great question. And I want to talk about all types of doubts in all areas of life. But first, let's talk about doubts regarding specifically a raw vegan diet. Okay. I understand that most people listening to this are not eating a raw vegan diet. But I feel that strongly that people listening to this are eating at least a high raw vegan diet and are at least not eating processed foods. So at least not the majority of the time. So let's just address it as in talking about doubts when it comes to believing that you can stay healthy because, you don't have to be raw to be healthy. But let's talk about the doubts of not trusting yourself and not knowing if you're going to stay on plan forever. So do I ever have doubts that I'll be raw vegan for life? No, personally, I do not. Because at this point in my life, and you'll get here, I 100% trust myself. Now, that being said, maybe I want to eat cooked food one day. And that's okay because I have boundaries and I know what's on my list, and that will always be. Maybe I'll tweak it here and there, but I have 3 lists. Remember, the list of food that I'll eat, the list of food that I'll never eat, and the list of food that I eat only socially. And so because I have these lists forever, I will never deviate. And so my list includes fruit, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Those are the foods that I eat. And so maybe I eat them cooked. I'm open to that one day. I don't think it will happen because I just love my life so much. I love the way I eat, but I'm not going to be upset or mad at myself or disappointed in myself if I eat a cooked fruit or vegetable. You see, I don't believe, and I'm talking about no oil, no salt, no like grains. Okay, I'm not going to be eating rice and quinoa and things like that because I know that I have an addictive personality and that just doesn't work for me. I know that I would probably overeat that and I wouldn't feel good. I'd feel bloated and I really don't like to feel like that. I like to feel really good. So I don't think that will happen with fruit and vegetables. Things like white potatoes, probably I'll never eat that. But sweet potatoes or squash, I'm open to it one day if I have to or if I want to. And that's okay. And to me, that's not falling off plan. To me, that's not like letting myself down. Because if I want to have it and I have it, then I will. And then if I don't feel good, then I just won't have it anymore. See, I trust myself to make really good decisions for myself now. And so I still know that there are foods that I cannot control myself around. So if I started eating M&Ms, I would not be able to stop. Like I can't have just one. I know that's like a cliche at this point, right? You can't have just one. But like that's the damn truth. Most of us are in the same boat. I would say most of us cannot have just one of anything extremely addicting or addictive. Okay. My friend texted me something today that I wanted to read to you guys real quick. She said, did you know that, hold on. We were talking about all types of stuff. How many messages do we have? This is ridiculous. I mean, it's about sugar and cocaine, which I could paraphrase, but I just wanted to like exactly read it. She wrote, damn it, we have so many messages. Oh, it's in the group chat, that's why. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, you know what? No, I can't even find it. We have so many goddamn messages between us. But basically, she said, did you know that sugar is more addictive than cocaine? I was like, yeah. Why do you think there's so many overweight and obese people, and people with diabetes, and people suffering from all these types of diseases and illnesses and health issues, okay? So many preventable things because they are producing this cheap, convenient food that we are so goddamn naive and gullible to eat. It's cheap, it's easy, it's delicious. And we're not thinking that it should be illegal. We're not thinking that it's going to cause us to have major health issues, but it does. And, you know, a big question that I ask myself, or I like to ask clients is, okay, when clients tell me that they can't stay away from processed foods, you know, they love to eat these foods, well, then I ask them, what do you want more? Do you want to eat these foods more? Do you want to be able to eat these foods more? Or do you want to heal? You can only choose one. Do you want to be able to eat these foods that are killing you, that are making you feel like shit and look like shit? Or do you want to heal, lose weight, feel better? Those are your two options. There is no middle ground. I'm sorry. If you're a food addict, if you're overweight, if you have health issues, it's black and white. There's no gray. You can't continue doing what you're doing and just eat it in moderation because that doesn't work. You can't have just one. Very few people can. And even my friends that don't have a food addiction, they have a food addiction. I'm realizing it now because they can't go raw. So if you can't even, if you're suffering from health issues and you can't even eat raw for one day because then you won't feel good, then you'll be craving food, then you'll be in a bad mood, then you'll be tired, well, then you're on drugs. You're a drug addict. And food is ruining your life because it's causing health issues that you don't want. And if I ask you this question, would you rather be able to eat whatever you want, or would you rather be healthy, healed, and whole, and feel good in your body, and not have to deal with health issues and doctors and all these things that go along with health problems? Well, if you're going to be honest with yourself, what is the answer? And so now the episode is about doubt. Do I ever have doubt? No, I have, once in a while I think about it. I'm just like, maybe I will eat cooked food one day. I don't really know. That's really the main reason I didn't want to put raw in my name, which is so goddamn funny, guys, because I've been raw for 12 years, like dead ass, raw vegan. Okay, I'm not like up and down and back and forth. No, I've been dead ass raw vegan. And dead ass is a New York expression, which means I've been literally raw vegan for 12 years. And there's so many people with the words raw in their name, and they're not even raw. And they're like showing they're not raw, or they're like secretly not raw. And it's fucking hilarious. So I just think it's hilarious that somebody like me was afraid to put raw in their name. When I made Ms.FitVegan, I was actually in school for being a personal trainer. So that's a story behind that. But I've made it mean something now, something different. Misfit, more like a weirdo. But I just think it's hilarious that I was afraid to say the word raw, but all these fake ass vegans, like Raw Alignment or Raw Vanna, or there's other ones I don't want to say. Anyway, okay, so no, I don't have doubt. And the doubt disappears because you have to understand you're just 11 months into your journey. Understand that you've been eating cooked food for fucking 50 years. Okay? And it's like maybe more. Okay? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. 11 months, you're not going to completely forget the last 50 years. There's muscle memory there. There's so much cooked food that has gone through your body. You're made of cooked food. So of course you still have doubts. Your brain cells were comprised of cooked food. So they're like, of course they're doubting because they're like, are we going to get fed like our food that we've been getting fed for the last 50 years? So, I mean, that's normal to have doubts. Also understand that it depends on the voice you feed. There's a voice in your head that says, I can't stay on this path because it's just not what we've always done, okay? Like we've always gone back to processed foods. We've always eaten cooked food. Like we can't do this. And that is not the truth. That's your inner roommate. That's your inner roommate who is lying. Those are false, habitual thought patterns, Okay? And then if you're feeding that voice, meaning you're literally feeding it cooked food or processed food, it's going to get stronger. But if you keep feeding the voice that says, I want to be raw and I get to choose what I eat and I feel really good eating raw, so I'm going to continue doing this. If you keep feeding that voice the fresh, ripe, juicy, delicious fruit and veggies, throw in some nuts and seeds if you want. If you keep doing that, that voice is going to get stronger. That person inside your head is going to get stronger. So it's like the wolf. Which one do you feed? Which one wins? The one you feed. Okay, and the last thing I want to say about doubt is the only constant in life is change. The only constant in life is change. You're allowed to change. You change your address. You change your hair color. You change your clothing. You change jobs. You retire. You change locations. You move. Okay, and even though I have an expression, wherever you go, there you are, there has been massive changes in your life over the years. So yes, you can change. Yes, you can stick to something. I mean, has anybody ever drank alcohol and given that up and never drank again for 20, 30, 40, 50 years? I want you to think about the things you've done. Like me, I always think to myself, before, in my early days, it was interesting because I did have doubts in the beginning, but at the same time, I knew that I was choosing this. And the more I chose this, that's the more that I wanted to eat that way. And remember, I was eating a lot of nuts and dried fruit in the beginning, so it was very easy. I was eating lots of calories and I was always very full, because I was eating lots of nuts. And then over the years, I started eating way more fruit than nuts. And I just started feeling better and better and better. And now at 38, I'm looking my best. And I know this is not about me, but it's my podcast. So I got to say, I'm looking my best I've ever looked in my life. I'm still not where I want to be. I want abs, even though some days I have them, but I want them every day. And that's pretty much my goal right now. That's my goal. I really want abs every day, all day. I just feel like the reason that I'm looking better and feeling better than ever is for sure the fruit, but also it's because I don't have as much stress in my life. And the stress in my life was really coming from the turmoil that was going on inside my head, the fight. And I know you guys can relate to this. If you're a former food addict, there was always this fight in my head that was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm going to do this. Fuck it. Ugh, why did I do that? Fuck, I really don't want to do this. Okay, that's it. That's it. I'm throwing everything away. That's it. I'm not doing this anymore. And then I would just buy it the next day. And then I would I would literally do this every day for years, like 10 years, like more than 10 years. Every day I would buy all this food that I didn't want. I would throw out all the food and I would buy fruit and vegetables because I always knew fruit and vegetables were like the health food. I would also buy like salmon and tuna and like grilled chicken too. But I knew fruit and vegetables were like the food I was supposed to eat. Okay. Like we all know. And then I would buy like brown rice and like, healthy soups and stuff. And I would buy all the food, the proper healthy food, the cucumbers and the broccoli and whatever. And then I would just get a craving, or I would have like a really bad day and I just lost it. And then I would go out and I would buy everything, junk food, and I would buy it and I would say, okay, I'm going to eat it today because I want it all gone tomorrow because tomorrow I'm starting fresh. I'm going to be healthy. So I'd eat all the food. I would eat like 10,000 calories. And what was happening is that's how I was dealing with my emotions and the anxiety and the stress of being a human. It's quite stressful to be a human. We have emotions. They go up and they go down. And what you need to do is you need to find someone. Oh, I'm going to cry if I think about it. You need to find someone. I'm crying because I'm thinking about my best friend. You need to find someone like my best friend, and hopefully you have someone that you can just be You can be yourself. And so some days you're not happy. Some days you are sad. Some days you are angry. Some days you're frustrated. Some days you're not yourself. Sometimes you're not yourself. Like maybe it's for months because your mom just died, or your sister just died, or your dog just died, or you just got fired from your own company, or you just broke up with your first and only boyfriend. I'm just naming all the things that I've been through in the last few years where like Awa has just really allowed me to be myself even when it wasn't fun, because I'm a really fun person. I love to have fun and I love to be silly and play around, but I'm a human and my emotions go up and down. And before, when I used food, I just tried to not feel those things so that I could always be happy. I could always look like I had no problems. I was never angry. I was never sad, because what happened was I would just eat it. And I'm still working on myself, and I'm still learning how to communicate, but it really helps when you have a friend who doesn't judge you and doesn't tell you you're overreacting or you're wrong. And I really appreciate that. And I have other people as well. I have a lot of really, really nice, really amazing people in my life. I'm really grateful for that, because it's tough when your friends like take things personal, take your sadness personal or your anger personal, and it's not personal. And I never really had a friend that before Awa, and now I have lots of other ones that are like, you can just not be yourself and everything's fine, you know? I remember like being with my boyfriend, and some days I was just overwhelmed because I was running a company with over 500 employees and they were all relying on me, and it was a lot, you know? And then I had my sister, she was in the hospital, and my mom is like a handful. My mom was not normal. She had mental problems, and I hate to say not normal, but she was like, it was like having two children, my sister and my mom. And so it was quite overwhelming. And then I would just be like crying, because this is after my food addiction, you know, this is when I went raw. So I would just be crying one day just out of nowhere because of the stress of life. And my boyfriend, he would like yell at me. He'd be like, "What is wrong with you? Why are you crying?" And I would just be like, "I just need to cry. I don't know why I'm crying. It's just very stressful right now. I don't know if my sister's going to live or not." And he was just he wasn't a really nice person, and he was really hurt. And it's interesting, that expression, hurt people, because I'm a hurt person, but I don't like to hurt people. But then I think to myself, maybe in some ways I am hurting people, that I just don't know it, you know? Like, for example, somebody apparently has been commenting on my YouTube videos, and I haven't like responded to any of her comments, but I haven't done that on purpose. I promise you. So you see, like maybe that could be an example of hurt people. Like, she's taking it personal. She sent me a long email saying, you know, did I do something wrong? You never respond. You respond to everybody's comment but mine. So anyway, this is a long podcast. I try to keep them pretty short. But I don't know. You guys let me know if you like the long ones. I think a few people have told me they do, and I appreciate that. So let's just talk real quick about the doubts about other things, because I have doubts about other things. I don't have any doubts about being healthy for life, because it's just, I answer that question. I say to myself, would I rather eat that crap, or would I rather feel amazing and healthy and be in control of my life and my eating habits? You see, I value this lifestyle so much more. I value my mental health and my physical health and my skin and my body and my sanity and my control of my life and of my choices over a momentary pleasure of eating a Snickers bar. Okay? And that's the reality. I'm a lot more conscious and aware of my choices in life. We always have a choice. And that's why I don't doubt. And I've only got there, boo, to the person that asked this question, which is such a good question. I only got there because of all the reps I put in. So understand that that wasn't me a year in, 2 years in, 3 years in. But after a few years, you start to prove to yourself so many times that like, oh, wow, I am in control. And I don't want to go back to that life. And I don't need to. And I don't even crave it. And you couldn't even pay me now $1 million to eat a French fry. Like you couldn't pay me that because I don't want it. I don't want it. I'd rather find another way to make that money. Because that French fry, yeah, it might send me into going back to eating that and craving that. And I can't take that risk. My health means so much to me. My control, my health freedom, my discipline means so much to me. And no, I don't use any discipline anymore. It's just habit at this point. But yeah, okay. And I want to just touch base real quick on the doubts of other things though, because, you know, a lot of times I do doubt that about my future. Like, I have no idea what my future holds. And I used to have a big fear of being homeless. I have since given up that fear. I've released it through EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, tapping. Okay, I've released a lot of fears through tapping, fears of bugs, fears of public speaking, and I had a big fear of being homeless because I was homeless as a kid for a little bit, and it was very scary to me. I also grew up in foster care, so if you guys have been listening for a while, then you know that. And it's completely normal. That's another thing that Awa did for me, okay? And if you don't have a best friend like Awa, then you need to know that all your feelings are valid. That's why I was crying before, because she was the first person in my entire life to help me realize that my feelings were valid. If I was angry with her or with anyone or with myself or with God or with anyone, it was valid. My fear, my sadness, all of these things, they're valid. See, I'm crying again, but I'm not sad. I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful to know that now, because I grew up thinking that there was something wrong with me and that I couldn't stop eating these things because I was lazy or undisciplined, or because I was fat, because I was a pig. You know, I was so mean to myself. I was a glutton because I was stupid, because I was broken. I thought there was something wrong with me. And now I know that these foods are designed to be more addicting than cocaine. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with you. You just haven't learned a way to break free yet. And I'm really grateful that I get to do this for a living. So my course starts on Saturday. Oh my gosh, it's in 2 days. And I've been without the course. So my last course ended 10 days ago, so almost 2 weeks. And I really miss it. I really miss it. I love to help people for a living. And if that's something you want to do, trust me, you can do it. Just like going raw. If I can do it, you can do it. There's fucking nothing special about me at all. And I know, we're all special snowflakes. I get it. But like, there's nothing different about me. I wasn't good on camera, guys, when I started. I wasn't good with this podcast when I started. I wasn't good at public speaking when I started. I wasn't good at communicating. Oh my gosh, somebody, I think it was Stephanie. She really was so kind to me, this amazing woman from my course. We have 2 Stephanies, so I'm talking about both of them. But one in particular, she always told me, she was like, you're a great communicator. I really appreciated that, because what she doesn't know is that I was a terrible communicator. And I was told that. I was told that by teachers and other people, that they just, like, I was just not good at communicating. And they couldn't understand what I was trying to say, because I just couldn't really get a sentence out and I couldn't express myself. So I really appreciate that. And then guys, it's not rocket science. What you do is you realize, and now I'm talking back about the doubt thing, okay? You realize that doubt is normal and your feelings are valid. See, this is what you need to understand. It's normal to have doubt about staying on plan. It's normal and natural and healthy to have doubt that you're going to ever meet your soulmate. You're going to ever be able to have kids. You're going to be able to retire comfortably. I have a lot of fear and doubts about that, and it's normal. It's normal because I don't have a retirement fund. I don't have a normal job. I'm not married, and I don't know if I'll ever get married. I don't know if I'll ever meet my husband or my soulmate. I really don't know. I could end up alone. I could end up dying just like my mom. She died alone. It's really sad to say that, but that's the truth. And it's possible. It is very possible because I'm not willing to compromise. I'm holding out for the fairy tale. I'm not someone who's able to settle. So maybe I'll never meet that person. That's okay. I've accepted that. And it is sad sometimes if I think about it, but it's not the end of the world. I'll still have an amazing life no matter what. And I've decided I probably won't have kids. I'm open to them possibly, but, I'm 38 now. So it's possible that I won't have them. And that's okay. And that's what I think we need to do with our doubts. We need to face them, and we need to acknowledge them, and we need to say, you know what? It's going to be okay. If I fall off, okay, worst case scenario, guys, you fall off and you eat cooked food again. You need to say to yourself, it's going to be okay because I'm in charge. So if I eat that cooked food, and it's going to make me feel like shit. And then I'm going to know for sure, okay, I don't want this anymore. I definitely don't want this. And the best thing about it, to the person that asked this question, the podcast is almost over, I promise. But the best thing about eating a raw vegan diet, like I'm talking about 100% raw, and getting colonics, which you don't need, but they really do help with cravings and like with everything in life. Seriously, I cannot recommend them enough. But make sure they're closed system though, because some of my clients, they're like asking me, is it okay if it's an open colonic? No, it's not okay. Closed system colonics only. Some people don't even check when they book the colonics. So you got to check closed system. But now the point that I was making was that when you eat a raw vegan diet and you remove all this toxicity from your body slowly but surely, or in a fast way with a colonic, then when you eat cooked food, you will feel so terrible. Like that's the main, now I get it. Okay. Now I get it. Why I don't have any doubts, because I will have to be hospitalized at this point. If I ate a Snickers bar, like I live around the corner from a Walgreens and I live across the street from a McDonald's. If I went to either of those places and bought anything in there, okay, Snickers bar, French fries, Big Mac, whatever it is, apple. Oh my gosh. I used to love the apple pie from McDonald's. If I bought an apple pie and I bit into it, most likely I would have to go to the emergency room. Okay. Like that's how clean my body is. And if I didn't have to go to the emergency room, I would probably be shitting myself. One bite of this kind of crap, chemicals, toxins, oil, fucking, God only knows what's in these things. Okay. MSG or whatever. I'd be shitting my pants for weeks. Literally, I would probably have diarrhea for weeks. And I remember, I never did this. I never ate any fried food since I went raw, or any processed foods. But I remember my my co-host from the Raw Misfit show, Matt, I remember him telling this story about how he ate these green beans, these fried green beans. And he wasn't even that far into his journey. I think he was raw for like maybe a few years. But he ate these fried green beans, or maybe it was in the beginning of his journey, but he was raw for a while. And he was like, he shit the bed in the middle of the night. Like he pooped in his bed in the middle of the night. That's literally what would happen to me. And it would happen to everyone. And he was like sick for like a week. And it happens to everyone when they go raw. And it's such a fucking blessing, guys, because then you know that your body's working properly and you can never go back. And I remember Fred Bishi talking about this. And I was like, that is interesting, because Like the body cannot tolerate these toxins anymore. The body goes into serious emergency mode when you eat these toxins. And then I think to myself, wow, people are really sick out there because people are eating McDonald's and stuff, and it's just storing away, creating cancer and diabetes and all types of diseases in the body. Because if I would get extremely sick from one bite of an apple pie from McDonald's, but somebody could eat the whole thing, well, what is the state of their body, the level of toxicity in their body, where their body's not even working? See, my body and Matt's body and everyone's body that is eating raw vegan, their bodies are working properly. And that's a beautiful thing. It's almost like having a car that doesn't run. And then you start giving it the proper fuel, and then it starts running. Well, you would never give it the unhealthy, improper fuel again. And you'd never have doubts about that. You see, you gotta keep researching, keep learning. Hear about people like Fred Bishi. Listen to some Fred Bishi interviews. And I can't really think of anyone else, but like people that have been doing it for a long time, they don't have any doubts. Ann Osborne, I guess. She doesn't do that many interviews though. They don't have any doubts because they know the consequences. And just think of it like a car. You'd never, ever do that to your car again. So why would you do that to your body? The only reason you have doubts, my boo, is because you don't trust yourself 100% yet. And that's normal. That's normal. You're still in the process of. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so proud of every single person that listens to this podcast and is on their healing, healthy journey. Whether you're eating 100% raw or 90% raw or 51% raw, all I want from you is to just become aware of any bad choices you're making. Start to become aware of why you're making them, okay? You're eating processed food still? That's okay. I want you to start just becoming aware. And every time you do choose it, I want you to do it consciously. And I want you to say, okay, I'm eating this now because I'm extremely, extremely tired. And I need to wake up because I have to stay awake to do this thing for work or whatever it is. I want you to start becoming aware because awareness is the first step in the healing process. And once you become aware, I want you to start saying to yourself, okay, how can I not do this anymore? What else can I have that's energizing? Can I make a smoothie with lots of bananas and dates and throw in some maca because maca is really energizing? Can I make a ginger shot, or can I get one from Publix or a fresh juice bar? That'll wake my ass up. Can I take a quick shower, or can I splash cold water on my face? Can I do some jumping jacks? All those things wake your ass up. When you start to realize that there's other healthy ways to deal with your life and stress and emotions and things, then you won't have any more doubts, and you won't ever fall into temptation, because no matter what it is, and let's go through all of them. Fuck it. This podcast is long enough. Okay, so like, what are all the reasons why you would eat processed foods? Okay, so like I said, because you might be tired, okay? Because I used to do like coffee and chocolate just to like stay awake and like be able to, not feel tired sometimes. Okay, another reason is because you're hungry. Well, you got to get more fruit in your fucking life. And no, you're not supposed to be eating normal quantities of fruit. You're supposed to be concerning to people. If your meals are not concerning, like people are not concerned as to how much fruit you're eating, you're not eating enough. If your portions and your meals are normal size, they look normal to people, you're not going to be a successful raw vegan. That's it. You're not going to be a healthy human. If what you're eating is not a big fucking show, if you're not a big fucking deal, if you're not the weirdo at the table, it's not going to work. You going to be like everybody else. You're going to be average, and you're going to be sick, and you're going to die sooner than you're supposed to. Okay? Sorry, but that's the truth. You're going to suffer with disease. You know what? You're going to suffer the pain of being the weirdo at the table, or you're going to suffer the pain of having health issues. Which one do you fucking want? So now, the third thing, okay, so hungry, tired, upset, like when you're upset. Okay, so I used to eat a lot when I got upset. But honestly, I was eating no matter what. Like, it was just a habit to starve all day and then binge all night. But sometimes people eat when they have anxiety or when they're nervous or upset. And so you gotta figure out another habit. Maybe it's doing podcasts. Maybe it's putting all your thoughts into a podcast. Maybe it's calling a friend, which is probably what most people would do. Okay? Maybe it's working out. Maybe it's doing some tapping, EFT tapping. Maybe it's putting on a guided meditation that you have ready to go. Maybe it's putting on your headphones and dancing. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's going for a swim, if you can swim anytime. Some of y'all rich motherfuckers have pools and shit, okay? I have a pool too, so I don't know why I'm saying that, but I just like to pretend that I'm like from the streets or whatever still. But the truth is, like, I can go swimming anytime I want now, okay? So you ain't special. That was like my dream. I always wanted to have a pool and just be able to like go swimming. And now you couldn't even get me in that pool because of all the chlorine and shit. Now I'm so goddamn spoiled. I only go in the ocean. But what else could you do? There's so many things, my boo. You don't have to choose something that's going to hurt you. You don't have to choose the same thing, because remember what I said? The only constant in life is change. And so I want you to think about all the things that have led you in the past to eating food you don't want to eat. Oh, it's convenient? Okay, well, make the healthy choice the convenient choice. Prepare. Have grapes around you at all times. Have oranges. Have bananas. Until you form new neural pathways and new habits, you got to take extra precaution. Okay? My friend Barbie, she posted a video yesterday about how much food she brought on her trip. And that's what you have to do. I've been in this game 12 years and I'm still doing that, even though I know it's too much food. I know I'm not going to eat all that food, but you never, ever know what's going to happen. People make fun of me all the time. My roommate, she still can't believe that I do the same thing. But like, I always prepare way more food than I need, because I have no idea. When I'm traveling on a plane, I have no idea if I'm going to be on the runway for 4 hours. I have no idea if my plane's going to get delayed by 4, 5, 6 hours, 10 hours. I cannot rely on no airport food or airplane food. No. And if I'm hungry enough, I'll go buy some shit. I can't risk that, because my health is too important to me. My life is too important. My health, my skin, my sanity, my mental health. You see, I don't just eat raw for my physical health. I eat it for my mental health. I was suffering very badly with very bad depression. And like I said before, a constant war, a tug of war in my mind that was just like feeling like a failure, that wanted to be healthy but then didn't want to be healthy, wanted to feel good but then wanted to punish myself, constantly feeling guilty, constantly feeling like ashamed and like a failure. I don't want to go back to that life. So that's why if you ever see me travel, listen, I don't have a purse. I have a food bag. I have a giant bag of food, okay? And when I go on trips, I always bring way more than I could ever need. And I always buy more than I need. And yes, sometimes I waste. I'm getting better, you know? Even though it's been 12 years, yes, sometimes I waste food because it goes bad, especially greens and stuff. Like fruit never goes bad in my house, like ever. It's in a constant rotation, but like, and I can always freeze fruit, you know, freeze bananas, freeze mangoes and stuff, grapes. But like greens sometimes, I'm not really good with the herbs. I always buy herbs and they always seem to go bad, but that's because most days I don't really eat salads. I just cut up some veggies, cucumbers, romaine, tomatoes, and I just dip it in the dressing. So like sometimes I don't have any place for the herbs to go, you know? Okay, anyway, I think this podcast is long enough. Thank you guys so very much for listening. If you like these long podcasts, do me a favor, leave a review, subscribe, let me know. And if you have any questions, send me an email, jd@Ms.FitVegan.com. And I wanted to let you guys know that it's not a big deal, but I have decided to increase my course to 12 people because I'm getting so many amazing applications last minute. So if you're someone who has been thinking about joining my course, just know that there are 2 spots now open, and I would love to have you join us. We start on Saturday, April 1st. If you send me an email with the words "I am ready," my email is jd@Ms.FitVegan.com. I'll send you the application and see if this is for you. This is for you if you're a woman that suffers from a food addiction, wants to feel better, has either weight to lose or if you want to heal something naturally, and you're also a creator, not a victim. You've realized that you've made some mistakes in the past, but you are now you are now willing to take full responsibility for your own well-being. Well, if that describes you, then I recommend you send me an email because I would love for you to experience what we are going to do in the next 6 weeks. We're not only going to break your food addiction, we're going to introduce you to 11 other amazing women who you're going to know for life. And one of them is going to be your accountability partner for life. And trust me, these are magical beings. I always attract the most amazing magical beings. And so, yeah, if you need community support, if you need guidance, if you need hundreds of thousands of recipes, if you need inspiration, if you need accountability, did I say that already? If you need not only to know what and why you should be raw, like what to eat, why it's important to do this, but how to physically do it, how to shop, how to make the dressings, what equipment to get, how to set your boundaries. Because, a big part of going raw is learning how to say no, Okay? Like, you don't have to always please everyone. You don't have to be afraid that somebody's going to get offended, somebody's going to get upset. Because you know what? They're going to get upset anyway for some other reason. So you might as well get them upset and get healthy at the same time. Okay? Like, yeah, it was hard for me in the beginning. My mom, she was used to making me food. She would make, she didn't make a lot of different foods, but she always made the sausages, Italian sausages with peppers. This was like my favorite thing. And then she would still make it. And it was hard sometimes because people show you love through food. And I had to just keep reminding her. And it took a really long time. My best friend too. Okay? Like, she loves to share her food. And she got upset many, many times with me because she's just like, especially in the beginning, guys, I wasn't always 12 years raw. I was 1 week raw, 2 weeks raw, 1 month raw. I went through every fucking day for the last 12 years. So, like, I know what it's like in the beginning. Trust me. And my best friend, she would get upset. She's like, Jeanette, please, it's not a big deal. What is... And it's just like, yeah, it is a big deal, but I don't, we used to get into fights. Because I'd be like, you're making it hard for me. Ugh! I'm trying to break my food addiction and you're trying to keep me down. And it's just like, no, it wasn't personal. And she didn't know what it was like. She doesn't have a food addiction. And she didn't know that I was serious about this raw vegan lifestyle. Now she fucking knows. Now my best friend, she would never offer me anything that is cooked, even if it's vegan and healthy. She sometimes asks me funny questions. She's just like, would you ever eat this? Because sometimes the ingredients are like super clean, but it's like a cooked thing. And so I'm still just like, sometimes I'm saying, yeah, I would. But like in my back of my head, I'm like, nah. Like I don't eat things from packages. You know what I mean? Like I'm in a Lamborghini. Like I'm driving a Rolls Royce here. I'm not putting in processed fuel. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you got to do, guys. You got to see your body as the fucking pinnacle, like seriously, like a Rolls Royce. You got to see your body as the car of your dreams or the house of your dreams or the body of your dreams. Because you can have it if you treat it like such. You can have it. And yeah, you can reverse anything. Anyway, that's all. I love you guys so much. Thanks for listening. This was an extra long, probably my longest. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Let me know if you'd like me to address anything or answer any questions, and I definitely will. I'll see you guys soon. Bye, boo.